this popped up on my timeline feed. I wanted to watch it with you guys. Apparently, this is the new competition for NTE and ANANTA, which is Wong Yu, or also known as the Moon Glaze. Apparently, we got we do have a showcase on it. I don't know if we have any more. Do we have any more videos on it by any chance, or is it just specifically just that? It looks like it's just that so far. Let me see. We can take a look to see if we have any more gameplay. Well, someone already made a video on it. Well, we do have combat footage here, but this is like 1 month ago. We also got a trailer here too as well. So we do got a few things here, you know. I don't mind taking a look. Let's take a look at the new CBT2 trailer. Let's see what's going on here. Looks like it's an urban style game as well. Characters and like rollerblading and everything, scooter. And you can summon your motorcycle and everything like that. I'm not gonna lie, the scenery is kind of insane. Oh, it does? That's like monster collecting? I know we have a little bit more footage, which we'll take a look at more footage on it, on this game. 619, 620. Okay, well, let's see, okay. Taking advantage of on Nintendo's losing patent, right? True! You're actually not wrong on that one. I completely forgot about that, actually. That, yeah, Nintendo did lose the patent. Okay, so this is not bad or so. Like, this was 1 month ago, so I want to see the combat for this game. Let's take a look at it, shall we? They definitely learned from Wuwa, the character changing to the intro attacks and everything. Your mama lost the ninja way. That's why she became the Akatsuki. She decided to join the dark side for this BBC. Okay. I see, okay, alright. It seems mildly interesting. It's like it definitely gives me like the woo-wah vibes for, like, you know, of how everything is. That was 7 months ago. That was 6 months ago. Character showcase 146. That's the same thing, right? Yeah. Okay. So these are the same trailers. I haven't seen anything like this. Let me see. Like, I would probably give it a try. I wouldn't mind just trying it out at the end of the day. They definitely taken that from ANANTA with the whole, you know, for the live streaming. like the question is, right, like the other question is like how crazy is the gotcha system going to be in this game? Because right now at the very moment NTE probably has the more, I guess, well, I don't know. Well, like I said, I'm not really that in depth or so with NTE. Some people can probably let me know. Well, actually, to be honest, it's a little too early to judge if it is free to play friendly when it comes to like at least the big AAA quote unquote um gotcha games, because you know you're comparing it to Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, on the Zone Zero, Withering Waves, and then you have, you know, well, Duet Night Abyss is not considered as one anymore, so that's out of the picture. So the question is like out of all of them specifically, right? And then you also have Arc Knights too. Well, I know Arc Knights is not, well, not really free to play friendly. Well, at least not to my knowledge, anyways. My question is like out of all of them or so, which one is the most free to play friendly? You know. I'm looking forward on this game. I always want to see Pokemon alternative that's not tied to Nintendo. Well, there are some games that are coming out that just came out or coming out in the future or so that has the monster taming thing that does actually pique my interest. So I'm like, I know there was one or so that there was like a beta that they had that's like kind of like a survival. It's kind of like in the realms of that one game or so with the Pokemons with guns, Pow World. But also at the same time, for people who are interested in this game, right? The only thing is, right? Remember, right? These games are coming from China, right? Number two, mostly their player base is going to be from China. What's going to be the biggest, you know, the biggest player base, right? And usually, if you're, you know, outside of China, or so they're probably not going to listen to you half the entire time. So they're just probably going to listen only to their CN player base. So, like I said, when it comes to like the Chinese gotcha games, I take it very like super, super, super minimal when it comes to like surveys, you know, taking your guys' consideration and opinion, you know. So that's the only thing. But it does look good though. It's not like, you know, it's not like I'm hating it or anything like that. It's promising though. I would give it a try, you know. Like I said, it does look promising, but I'm like I said, I'm keeping expectations pretty low because it is a CN game at the end of the day. And yeah. That's kind of like basically it though. You need to raise your social credits, then they will listen, or just completely like, you know, like completely just go over and glug 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 glug, you know. I'm like, this does look pretty damn good, I'll be honest with you. Like it's not like it's not, you know. But I don't know if this is being worked on the Unreal Engine, you know. Well, like I said, it's not hard to make a good looking game at the end of the day on the Unreal, unless it's using the Unity engine for this one, which you can make Unity look like this, you know, to this like caliber. But like I said, we'll see. The only gacha game I'm looking forward to is the fighting one because it's different. That is very true. That fighting one was very interesting. I saw Maximilian also playing that one a few times. I know that I think he got sponsored or so. It's either sponsored or they told him about it. It's either one of the two. And it looked pretty interesting. I saw some of the newer development on it too as well. It looked really great. Unreal 6 is coming soon. Oh yeah, I forgot that is a thing as well. So we'll definitely be seeing new games on the Unreal 6, but the question is that engine optimized though? That's my curiosity. And how far can you even push the tech on that? But anyways, that's another subject to talk about on a different video when we see the demo video of that. If there even, I don't know if there is a demo video, but there'll probably be a demo video later in the future for it. But anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. I'd be curious to see what people think about this one. I assume it's probably gonna be a gacha game as always, and then the question is that like the only thing is like I wish we would get an actual anime game with like, you know, with this specific art style in a single player game instead of just having it, you know, in a gacha format. Because like at the end of the day, you know, there will probably be a point or so where there might be a little too much of these games coming out from especially if they're all coming out from the same country as well. I'm just kind of like, man, that's kind of crazy. Don't you know, it's kind of fucking wild, dude. And plus also the phones need to be beefier too as well for these kinds of games to be played on. But then the problem is like the whole, you know, the shit that's been happening with the RAM system and everything being so expensive. So those phones are fucking expensive to get for these kinds of games to play on. So there's a lot of issues that I'm having with these things, because I know yeah you can play it on PC, blah 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 blah, right? But the problem is also it revolves back to the same situation, you know. I'm like, people can't afford to buy the computer components to make a PC in order to play these games, you know. They released a short footage of an upgraded visual of Rocket League on the Unreal 6. Okay, I'll take a look at it just to see how it looks on it. But yeah, anyways, like I said, that's a lot of stuff to talk about, and that's a lot of things to like, you know, to think about when you're like, you know, thinking about it from like the top perspective and trickling downwards to the other subjects. I'm like, at the end of the day, you know, I know people had a tough time running Genshin Impact on their phones. So I know some people have trouble running Withering Waves on their phones. So I'd be curious to see how this game is going to be running on there too. My opinion, there's too many gacha games already. Yes, there is too many gacha games. Like there's too many of the AAA gacha games, you know? There was a golden era of the gacha games, but now it's becoming a little too crazy. Cuz like we still have the Dark Souls gacha game that needs to come out. Like I know that's being worked on. If you guys remember that specific subject, there's also a few other ones too as well that I completely forgot the names of. But honestly, like the Dark Souls, I don't know how the Souls like gotcha game is going to come out and how that's going to be monetized and how not to like, you know, overpower the characters to fight the boss and everything like that. Like or how the main character, like they're gonna have to like find a way to be able to scale the main character completely, unless they completely change the development over to become a single player game, then that's a different story. But anyways, like I said, different subject, different video, and yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video, and peace.